What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Student Section Podcast, where your favorite college students talk about sports. I'm your host, Yois Keys, joined by my co-host,
Kevo.
Jay Les.
And, man, we got some interesting things to talk about. But before we get into it, it is the longly anticipated Season 2. So, listen, a couple talking points to talk about. The NFL Conference Championships, coaches getting fired, getting hired, NBA drama, soccer drama, just so much to dive into. So, Jacob, go ahead and lead us off.
First off, we got the championship round of the
That's
NFL, obviously. The divisional round just wrapped up this past weekend, setting up some big matchups in the conference championships. On the AFC side, the Broncos defeated the Bills, as we know, 33-30. Bo Nix comes through in the clutch once again. People keep writing him off, but he ain't writing back. Is that tough?
No, it wasn't.
I don't know
But I
about
keep
that.
going.
Yeah, so Josh Allen has 5 turnovers.
Yeah.
He's visibly upset after the game. People keep making excuses for him. I don't really care about that because Josh Allen is the one holding himself accountable, which is good for the team. Obviously, they fired their head coach, Sean McDermott, after the game.
Bad move.
I think they should have fired their general manager,
Promoted
Brandon
him.
Bean, and then they promoted him to president of football operations.
Did you see the controversy with the player they still have that they wouldn't have picked him? They would have picked someone else.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Keon Coleman, the wide receiver.
Yeah.
Keon Coleman too busy eating cookies to catching passes on the field.
Yeah, it was a good game to watch. I was nervous as a Broncos fan. Shout out that we made it and we get to play another week of football. But we were underdog going into the game. Josh Allen, a.k.a. known as Superman, he looked just like a regular man. He had 5 turnovers against our Broncos defense. And ultimately, the biggest headline, Bo Nix got hurt, broke his ankle. Season-ending injury. He will not be returning in the conference championship game. But that means Stidham is up next. And I just want to kind of talk about Stidham a little bit. For the people who don't know ball, Jarrett Stidham was actually drafted by the New England Patriots in the second round. He was actually going to be, in my opinion, the GOAT successor, Tom Brady. He was supposed to be the one to take over the keys when Tom Brady leaves. And Jacob had kind of mentioned earlier off air that he hasn't thrown a football in, since 2023, you said?
Yeah, regular season pass. He's not thrown a regular season pass since 2023, Week 18, when he was starting over Russell Wilson in Russ's last year with the Broncos. But, yeah, he's been playing in preseason. Obviously, Bo Nix isn't going to get a lot of reps in preseason because he's the starter. So Jarrett Stidham is going to be the one getting a lot of reps, and he was good, albeit against second-team defenses most of the time in the preseason. But I've been watching clips on TikTok and Instagram. Broncos first-team defense players have been saying that he's been cooking their defense in practice. And obviously Sean Payton and the players have belief in him to be able to perform in this high-leverage scenario. Obviously, this is the highest leverage scenario you can be in other than the Super Bowl, obviously.
This is going to be the biggest game of his life, because if he does well, not only will he break history being one of the, I don't want to say, least quarterbacks to take their team to a Super Bowl as a backup, but also he'll have the opportunity to be playing for a starting position next season. So hopefully, I have faith in him. I think the Broncos will get it done. We've been underdogs pretty much the whole season, but I think we'll be able to get it done. Now let's take a look at the other side of the tournament, the NFC. You got the Seahawks versus the Rams.
Yes.
Talk to me, Kevin. What you thinking over there?
Well, that was a matchup that happened earlier in the season, really close. Then the Seahawks win that in overtime. That won in overtime, didn't it?
They played 2 times this season. I believe they both split. And I believe one time they didn't play, Devontae Adams did not play. So I think that could be a big key.
The second time around he didn't play. That was the time the Seahawks went for 2-point conversion in overtime and won the game.
The little controversy at the end. But so if they got Devontae and Puka, I think the Rams have a good shot. I mean, they have MVP candidate Matthew Stafford, but I'm giving the slightest edge to the Seahawks. They destroyed the 49ers.
Yeah.
At that point, I just turned on the TV, went to go cook up some popcorn, come back, it's ready 7-0.
Yeah, they were getting blown out
from the get-go. It's just, well, how is this going to be? Is it going to be a blow? And it turned out to be a blowout.
Yeah. For all the people who don't know what the tournaments actually look like, producer, if you can throw up a picture of that tournament for us, we can kind of show the viewers what's led up to this point we have now. Been some interesting games from the AFC side and the NFC side. To start it off, we had the Buffalo Bills versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Rough game, but the Bills ultimately left that game. Your Steelers and the Texans, talk about that game.
That was brutal. The Texans have a good defense. It's annoying when you know they have a good defense because they were blocking every pass Aaron Rodgers had. Unfortunately, we didn't do much. Our offense was not really productive. But Aaron Rodgers could have been his last game as a NFL player in general, but definitely as the Steelers, and he ended up throwing a pick in the last 2 minutes. He was not on the field. I love Aaron Rodgers. I think we definitely let him down. We had DK Metcalf. I was really hoping it was going to be a good chance. We were in a hot streak on Monday nights.
Mm-hmm.
But, the Texans, their defense is actually.
So, as a Steelers fan, do you think that was Aaron Rodgers' last game? Is that the last time we see Aaron Rodgers suit up?
I think so. Yeah.
Think so?
Yeah, he's 42. I just don't know. He had tank in the gas. I saw it midseason with the Steelers, but I just don't know what other team would pick him up for his age.
There's also a lot of drama regarding the Steelers. They also did fire their head coach, so make sure you guys are staying tuned, and we will get into that. But Jacob, kind of talk to us about who do you think that Super Bowl matchup would be?
I think it's going to be the Seahawks versus, I'm going to be unbiased, the Patriots, to be honest.
Bro, he's a Broncos fan, not putting the Broncos in the big game. Come on, bro. What are you doing?
I'm trying to do a little bit of some.
Are they underdogs right now against the Patriots? Since
I think
Bo
they're
Nix is gone?
5.5-point underdogs.
However, if we did have Bo Nix, I think we're 1.3 overdogs.
Yeah.
So
I think the Patriots will win. I think Stidham will not be able to manage the game as well as people are going to say he will. I think he'll throw a pick, maybe fumble. The Patriots pass rush has been really good. They sacked C.J. Stroud 5 times last week.
they do got a good defense.
And they sacked Justin Herbert, I think, 5 or 6 times in the wild card round as well. So the Chargers and the Texans have good offensive lines. It doesn't help that C.J. Stroud isn't a very good pocket. He doesn't have very good pocket presence right now. But, yeah, I think it'll be close because the Broncos' defense has been able to force turnovers like we saw last game. I do hope the Broncos win, though, and I think there's a good chance we do. I just think the Patriots I think they're a team of destiny to me right now.
Well, I got a different take. I got the Broncos going all the way. Listen, man, we got one of the best defenses in the league. Pat Surtain, Nick Bonito, Jonathan Cooper, Zach Allen. We got guys that can really get after Drake May. And you're talking about turnovers from C.J. Stroud. Drake May also did not play the very best football of the season. He also did have some turnovers. Mm-hmm. And I think Jared Stidham will get it done. You know, they say ain't no party like a Diddy party, but ain't no party like a Stiddy party. I'm rocking with Stidham. You know what I'm saying? I think he can get it done. We're doing this for Bo. Shout out Bo. Get well soon. I heard his surgery went good. He had surgery on Tuesday. Yeah. But, yeah, I think we're going to get it done. And I think we're also going to be playing the Rams.
You know what? I think so, too. Let's go.
No. Because, let me tell you something, all right? Matthew Stafford was playing like MVP. I think they'll beat the Seahawks. And, yeah, as a Broncos fan, you got to – come on, bro. Where your loyalty lie, bro?
I'm trying to do some cross-contamination, you feel me? I say the Patriots are going to win. That means I'm going to write them off, and then the Broncos will win in turn. You feel
ever
me?
heard that formula
I've
before?
never heard that formula before. I don't know if it'll work. Maybe either the bad
If I
luck.
say the Bills will win against the Broncos, then the Broncos
I think
have
that's
a
kind of
better
playing it
chance
safe
to
because,
win.
people be clip farming these days, so,
So you're just playing it safe?
Yeah.
You're not a risk taker?
Yeah.
I'm a risk taker.
Yeah, you're not a road runner?
I'm a road runner.
No, I don't know about that.
I always be running the roads.
You gotta support your team.
Yeah. I don't know.
You ride for it, bro.
Trust me. I was just trying to be different.
Crickets. Crickets. Anyways, it's gonna be a good game. Like I said, 4 games this remaining weekend. My picks
2 games.
Yeah, 2 games, 4 teams. Yeah, both on Sunday. Broncos and Patriots play first earlier in the evening. What is it?
2 p.m.
2 p.m. And then the big game, Seahawks versus Rams. We can just go one by one, but Kevin, give me your final 2 picks.
I'm going Seahawks and Patriots.
Oh my God!
I'm sorry, guys. I don't know if there will be a Nick Foles story for the Broncos. Back at QB taking them to the Super Bowl.
Okay. Go ahead, Jacob.
Broncos, Seahawks.
Now you would have changed his
Oh,
answer.
what?
Super Bowl 48 rematch. Come on, the stories write themselves.
Broncos country. You know how I'm rocking. Come on, man. I got Broncos and I got the Rams. I don't know. It's tricky. It's tricky, because they did split. They are divisional opponents. So, but I think ultimately it'll boil down to Mike Donald's defense. Can they stop Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams? And like a lot of people forget, they got a good running back in the backfield, Kyron Williams.
And they got Blake Corum too. 1-2 punch there. He had double-digit
Right.
touchdowns. He had double-digit touchdowns. Are
They
we
got
serious?
Kyron Williams.
They had double-digit touchdowns. Are we actually serious?
No, yeah. Speaking of running backs, though, on the Seattle Seahawks side, what's his name?
K9, Kenneth Walker.
They
3
got
touchdowns last week.
but their backup got hurt.
Yep. Zach Charbonnet is going to be out for the rest of the
How you say his
season.
name?
Zach Charbonnet.
It just sounds fancy. You know?
Yeah,
It sounds like
Charbonnet.
something. What's that? Like France or something? I don't
Something.
Tough name.
I'm
It's
not
Seattle.
trying to be racist.
It's
bro,
Seattle, actually.
but- Okay. All right. Well, continuing into our next segment, it is still about the NFL, but it is regarding the scandals, the dilemmas, the dramas, the firing and hirings. You know, I think it's weird to say in sports culture how sometimes people get excited that coaches are getting fired, but if you look at it from an ethical perspective, we're getting happy that someone's losing their job, that someone is no longer able to put money or food on the table for their family. But some of the coaches that got fired, who wants to take it?
One thing that I saw, AFC North, the Steelers, Ravens, Bengals, Browns, there's 3 coaches that stepped down or fired.
Yeah.
And Bengals are the only one with a head coach right now. So it's a little hot in the AFC North right now. There's not many options. The Browns, I don't know who's going to take that
No
position.
one wants that job.
They're
We'll
the
see
least
how
sought
that
after
goes.
position for sure.
Yeah.
I think the Bengals also should have fired their head coach, but that's a story for another time.
No, get into it because I can see it because you look at what's going on with the Bengals right now and Joe Burrow's just not happy.
Yeah, they have not constructed their roster well, and I don't know if that all falls on the coach or if it falls on management. Probably a little mix of both. Obviously, Joe Burrow hasn't been able to stay healthy, and when he was on the field this year, they still weren't winning much games, which wasn't really his fault because their defense has still been very bad, like it has been the last couple years.
Yeah.
But yeah, like T. Higgins won it out the last couple years. Trey Hendrickson has been wanting out the last couple years. There's just a lot of turmoil in that locker room and in that building. So I do think he's just the worst coach in that division. Obviously, he's the only coach in that division right now because every other position is vacant.
Yeah.
Steelers fired Mike Tomlin, or Mike Tomlin stepped down.
Yeah, he
actually,
stepped down on that
John
one.
Harbaugh got fired by the Baltimore Ravens, which to me is just not smart. He's your winningest head coach in your history, and you decide to let him go.
I like the move.
You like the move.
I like the move. I think it was just obviously he won the Super Bowl in 2012 when the lights shut off. That was crazy. But in the recent years, they've always made the playoffs.
Yeah.
But they can never get over the hump. They can never get over the hump.
Is
They can never
that
get out
on
of the-
is that on him or is that on the? Because let's just talk about it. If that rookie kicker, by the way, Tyler Loop, rookie kicker, makes that field goal, it'd be a different conversation.
But then, do they go on a run? No, they lose to the Texans in the first round still.
I don't. I think it'll be a good matchup. I ultimately do believe the Texans will win,
Yeah.
but I do think they have a chance. Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers. Well, Zay Flowers hasn't really been playing well this season, but Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews. I think they line up fairly decent against them, but ultimately, I do think that
They have good personnel. I just think it was a mutual benefit to, hey, it's time to move on. It's run its course, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with the Steelers.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
They make the playoffs every year. They have a
Yeah.
winning record every year, but what does that equate to in the end?
Never.
You have a winning record, you have a low draft pick every year, but you're never actually winning
Yeah.
when it matters.
Okay.
Same thing with the Bills, too. Even though they're better, they're getting 11, 12 wins every year. They've only reached the AFC Championship twice with Josh Allen, losing to the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes both times. They've never reached the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So with Sean McDermott, even though it's probably not his fault, he's getting them to that point, but they're just not coming through when it matters most. So again, it's probably just beneficial to have somebody else get in there.
Yeah.
And with the Bills and Ravens, it's better to have somebody else come in, mentor Josh Allen, mentor Lamar Jackson, try to get the most out of their prime when they're in their prime.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to waste it, right?
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I definitely think they've had long streaks, John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin with the Steelers and the Ravens. They've made the playoffs consecutively. They've had winning records throughout most of the seasons, which I appreciate Mike Tomlin for always doing. But we have Will Howard, backup quarterback.
Yeah,
instead of
out of
giving
Ohio State.
Yeah, and so instead of keeping Mason Rudolph, I want to give Will Howard a shot, which now a new head coach can definitely give it a shot if Aaron Rodgers steps down. He was probably his mentor, and he looked happy with Aaron Rodgers, with Howard. But their streak was a long time, both of them. Now it's Andy Reid with the longest with the Chiefs, right? Yep. That's what I saw. But I agree with what Jacob said for the Bills, the Ravens, and the Steelers that they've been good, but it's just not enough anymore.
Yeah. Some other head coaches for the people who don't know. Mike McDaniels for the Miami Dolphins got fired. He got hired for the Los Angeles Chargers as their offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm. I was surprised about that. Sorry to cut you off, but I was surprised he didn't land another head coaching job.
Yeah.
To be honest, I thought he would be a good candidate for the Browns job with those young quarterbacks they have. But I think he'll be good for the Chargers with Justin Herbert.
See,
so.
I thought he would have been good for the Bills' head job, but that's another topic for another time. But switching off to a new section. See, I did a basketball move there because I'm transitioning to a basketball topic. If you know, you know. If you know,
We noticed it, bro.
All right. Anyways, NBA headlines, trade deadlines, everything coming up, man. Jacob, talk to me. What's going on in the world of the National Basketball Association?
How are the Phillies?
The Sixers, you mean? This is NBA, buddy.
Philadelphia Sixers.
Yeah, the Sixers, buddy.
76ers.
Yep.
How are they doing?
They're doing all right. They're sixth in the East as of last night. Joel Embiid's still playing one game, then sitting one game. He's been good, though.
When are you guys going to get rid of him, bro?
I don't know. I don't want us to get rid
Would you
of
get
him.
rid of him or PG?
They're both playing good right now, if I'm being honest.
Injury
Maxi's
prone?
a little bit inconsistent, but he did just get named as All-Star starter.
Yep.
He's the first Sixers guard to be named an All-Star starter since AI.
You guys got a good rookie over there, too, man.
Yeah, VJ's been good.
The generator.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll win Rookie of the Year because Colin Knippel has been
Yeah.
Been
shooting
hooping,
lights
bro.
out
He's been doing really
over
good.
in Charlotte. So
Shout out Duke, man. They make some absolute
Yeah.
studs, man.
him and Cooper Flagg, they got a lot of good guys coming up this year too.
Yeah.
Cameron Boozer, a lot of guys. So, yeah, I think they're playing decent. I think they could be playing better, but also I don't think there was much expectation going into the season for the Sixers. One thing I noticed is the Knicks have been on a little bit of a down slope. And then last night they get their biggest franchise win in history.
Yeah.
So
Nets,
they might be back after that. They won by 54.
No, New York is definitely not back.
It was over the Nets.
Yeah.
So the Nets aren't good, but they never had a win over 50 points in their franchise history, and they won by 54.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's a good win for them.
There's also some injuries. My Golden State Warriors, Jimmy Butler towards ACL, out for the season. I just want to kind of talk about it because Steph Curry's in the later stages of his career, and I think his championship window is slowly closing. So if we don't get a star like Giannis Antetokounmpo or I honestly thought maybe Trae Young would have went somewhere else too, but we can get to that later. But if Steph Curry doesn't get some help, I truly fear that he'll walk out of this league with only 4 rings, and that's okay. That's still greatness, but when you have a superstar of that caliber, get him some help because he can win you some championships. But talk to me about Trae Young.
Trae Young going to the Wizards. He's gonna be out until
who knows
all
when.
hurt.
Yeah.
No, they're sitting him for the season.
Are they really? They're
And I
tanking.
think that's
So they're just
I think
gonna
that's
tank the
smart.
season.
I think that's smart for now because they're set up for the future beautifully.
The pick, first round
Beautifully.
pick, right?
After that Bradley Beal trade, they got a lot of picks. Trae Young trade, they're giving up a good amount of the picks. But you get a top-of-the-line scorer. You have Alex Sarr as well, former number 2 overall pick, I think, behind Zachary Ricochet in 2024. And they could get another lottery pick. They could get Darren Peterson maybe out of Kansas, A.J. Devonta out of BYU, one of the Duke guys. We'll see.
Cam Boozer, for sure.
Yeah, so I think they'll definitely get a top 5 pick. They just don't have a chance to contend this year. So they may as well just sit them, get them healthy for next year, and then you can try to go all in. You can maybe sign a couple free agents here and there.
I think it's pointless. The whole trade is pointless. They traded?
They gave up C.J. McCollum.
Yeah,
and some picks. And Corey Kispert.
Yeah, him. Yeah.
Are they really? C.J. McCollum is not part of your future.
He's past his prime.
Yeah.
Corey Kispert maybe, but he was just confined to a bench role. They have Bub Carrington, they have Keontae George.
Right.
They're way better than Corey Kispert is right now. So they get fresh starts in Atlanta. Atlanta's a better team right now anyway.
For sure.
And Atlanta, I like the trade for Atlanta more than I do for the Wizards, to be honest. They were just better without Trae Young. With their young guys, Jalen Johnson's turning into a star this year.
Nikhil.
Again, they have Zachary Ricochet. They have Nikhil Alexander-Walker.
They do got some studs, but at what point it's like, if you're Trae Young, if you're Damian Lillard, if you're these guys that haven't won a ring yet or really haven't done much in the postseason, right? What, why do you throw away your career?
Money.
Going to, come on, there has to be no amount of money for what a, championship would be able to do for you. Because I feel like you're always going to, when you retire, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, that's the one that got away.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's just run its course. His time was up in Atlanta. His times were numbered. And then he didn't really play a lot this season. And when he did play, they just weren't as good as they were without him. So I think it was just another kind of thing, a mutually beneficial separation. So Trae Young gets traded. He gets a change of scenery. He gets paid. They already signed him to an extension, and he doesn't even have to play this year. So I think they're keeping him happy,
I don't like
even though the fan base probably doesn't like it a whole lot.
You probably could have, if I'm Trae Young, this is what looks ideal, right? Appealing. Let's say that. The Lakers play with Luka Doncic.
No, that would not have worked out at all.
Okay, I'll throw you another one. Anthony Edwards.
I was gonna say Timberwolves would have been the ideal landing spot.
You go play with a good player like Ant, and then you get paid, and you're also with a team that is potentially contending every year because you have a guy named Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
The thing is, could they have paid him though? When they got Ant, they have Julius Randle, who's playing very good right now.
I would get rid of Julius Randle and bring in Trae Young for sure.
Really?
That kind of stiffens the front court a little bit, but
that's a hot take. I think I would not get rid of Julius Randle when he was hot.
Who would you get rid of then? Because to get a person like Trae Young,
I would have traded Rob Dillingham because he's not really playing.
Yeah, I can
right
see
now.
Mike Conley, but Mike Conley's old already.
Mike Conley has.
I think they would do
Nas
Nas Reed, but I can't, man. I love everyone on the Timberwolves besides
that team
Rudy
has
Gobert.
good chemistry.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a player like Trae Young, who's a point guard who's not only able to get you open by making these elite passes, but he's also able to spread out the floor and get other guys going because of how well he's able to shoot the three ball.
Do you think he would be able to work with Golden State?
See, I truly believe anything will work at Golden State because you just don't have any other options. Right now, Steph Curry's your leading scorer every single night at the age of 36, 37, right? That's not sustainable. He's going to need some help. All right, we'll just click that, bro. Yeah, honestly, anything will help. But I think where Golden State lacks, and it's been like this for a couple of years now, they don't have a big. They don't have a center.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what Steve Kerr has against centers, but he just likes playing small ball with all these point guards, trying to chuck up these shots. Like, bro, it's not 2016, 2017 no more. You can't just throw up these shots. Like, teams have figured you out. They know Steph Curry's going to run a marathon around the court to get open. Like, they got your head.
Yeah, when you got these bigs in the league like Wemby and Jokic and Sengun and Chet Holmgren and all those guys, you got to have somebody that can.
You got to have someone to get gritty, get down and dirty in the paint,
and be able to just box out for offensive and defensive rebounds. They don't have that guy. Draymond's not like that.
No, he gets down and gritty, but just
Okay.
If you know,
he gets down and gritty with the coach for sure.
And Jordan Poole.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. The NBA is it's fascinating this year. I'd say that it's fascinating.
A lot of surprise teams like the Pistons are still playing good. Cade Cunningham just got named an All-Star starter.
Yeah.
Still waiting to hear the reserves.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think so. Who was the All-Stars for the? What are they doing globally in the U.S., right? It's different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing like the 4 teams thing again.
Okay. So what is the different teams? It's global.
It's the world. It's USA, the world, rookies, and then like veterans, I think, or something like that. Sure. Yeah.
All right.
So it'll be interesting to see.
Good NBA news. Switching to our next topic. Kevo, take it away. We got soccer.
Yeah, I want to start out with Champions League. It was honestly chaotic after a big break they had from international break. Big key takeaways. Some big teams are dropping points right now.
Okay.
Manchester City had a shocking loss to a team I'm not even familiar with. They lost 3-1. So that dropped them down on the table. They're no longer in the playoff, or they're no longer in the top 8, which is the safe side. They have to fight in the playoffs. Liverpool is dropping points as well. These are just Premier League teams that are dropping points when they have good squads. They made transfers and paid people good money just so their teams can be young and good, but they're not performing well. PSG, the reigning champions, just lost this week too against a team in Portugal. But, they're the champions. They just lost.
Right.
Now they're still in the safe spot to be already in the playoffs, but that was a shocking loss to everyone. So those are big losses in the Champions League. Barcelona's winning. They're right now 9th, so they're 1 spot short from being on the safe side. Real Madrid's doing good. But I kind of just want to switch over from those 2 teams. They just played in the final, the Spanish Super Cup. Okay. It was against Barcelona versus Real Madrid.
Rematch.
Yeah, exactly.
Rematch.
Yeah.
Who you got?
I had Barcelona winning it, and they won it 3-2. I like that. Since earlier in the season, there was a little bit of a scuffle after the loss Barcelona had against Real Madrid. Young player Lamine Yamal was talking a little bit heavily online. I just think if you can talk online, you can back it up. And they pressed him a little bit after the game, a bunch of Real Madrid players, and it was not good being a fan after that loss. But the Spanish Super Cup that just happened in the beginning of January was a relief that we won that. We had all our players back healthy. No scuffles at the end this time, but for Barcelona's side, Real Madrid unfortunately have egos, and their attitude problem kind of drove away their coach.
Right.
Their coach stepped down from the position after the final because there's a guard of honor. So whoever wins, they just stack up in a line and they just clap for the winners and they just let them walk through while they get their medals. One of the players, Kylian Mbappe, was not for that. He told the coach, hey, we're not going to do that. Let's go back into the dressing room, or let's just go watch. We're not going to give them the honor that they have of winning the championship. So after that, I think that's what made him step down, egos in the locker room. We don't know much about it, but we've seen some stuff on camera. Unfortunately, he was a good coach. He had a winning ratio with Real Madrid, but he stepped down because of egos and attitude. And
Coaches
then after
just being fired left and right, man.
Seriously.
Left and right, bro.
It's been wild. Real Madrid lost to a second division team. Successful hate watching that. Now they're out of another tournament that they were in. So we love to see that. Now I just kind of want to go on to the Premier League. Like I said earlier, a bunch of good teams are tanking points. It's nothing to do with like performances. Well, some performances have been mid, but injuries have been hurting a couple of teams. But still, like, you have a bunch of signings that they made that they spent good amount of money on, and they're tanking points to teams that are in the middle of the table that are fighting and going up. If we had Stem here, Stem would be proud of his Everton.
You'd be going crazy, right? I was just thinking that in my head too. For all the people that soccer is the biggest sport in the world. I think we can all agree, right? But here in America, sports like basketball and American football are more popularized. So for the people who are watching us who don't know familiar faces in soccer, kind of talk about who are the bigger names in the game right now, left in the tournament and stuff like that.
Because
I know the World Cup and stuff too is approaching too.
That's approaching. That's gonna be awesome. Tickets are released already. They're up to 1,000, I think. So we'll see if I spend money on that. But the biggest names, that refund money from college, would be awesome. Right now, the biggest name is probably the Ballon d'Or winner, which is like the biggest. It's like an MVP trophy in our terms. His name is Ousmane Dembele. He's Europe's best player right now. He's from France. He plays for Paris Saint-Germain, PSG. The best player right now. There's also Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., Lamine Yamal, Erling Haaland. Bunch of good young people actually right now. Thinking about it, they're all like probably under 27. You still have the vets like Messi.
Bright futures ahead.
Yeah, exactly. You still have the vets like Lewandowski, Messi, Ronaldo. They're still putting up stats, but right now it's a little bit of the younger guys taking over. So.
Sure, appreciate that segment. Only a couple more minutes left to go. Jacob, rundown of baseball and what's going on in the world of baseball.
First off, the rich get richer. The rich always get richer. The Dodgers just signed Kyle Tucker. 4 years, $240 million. All of it's deferred, basically. So they're paying him for 20 years, 30 years to come. But he's getting $60 million.
$60 million.
Average annual value. That is insane.
What can you do with $60 million?
Do a lot.
Keep going. My bad.
So they've just been, obviously they're back-to-back World Series champs, and they just get richer. They sign an MVP candidate to go along with Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, all those guys. They obviously have a great pitching staff. I think they're plus 200 to win the World Series before the season even started.
Scooble next for the Dodgers.
I don't know. I think he
They're
probably
just collecting Infinity Stones at that point.
Yeah,
just the Avengers,
I said Avengers Assemble. Like they're just calling everybody. And then
you get a contract. You get a contract. You get a contract.
Kyle Tucker, he pulls a Kevin Durant. If he can't beat him, join him.
Join him. That's the way to go.
Obviously, they lost. He used to play on the Astros. They lost to the Dodgers in the World Series in 2017. If he can't beat him, join him. Mets keep making signings. I hate to say that as a Phillies fan, and they just keep getting better. The Phillies do absolutely nothing. I'll rant about that in a little
Good
bit.
things come to those who wait, my friend.
The Mets signed Bo Bichette. Obviously, he was on the Toronto Blue Jays this last year. They made the World Series. Then they made 2 trades in the last 2 nights. They traded for the Cuban guy, Luis Robert Jr. from the White Sox. And they also traded for Freddie Peralta, who finished top 5 in National League Cy Young voting this last season. Not sure why the Brewers traded for him, but the Mets gave up an absolute haul. They gave up the number 30 overall prospect in baseball, not in their system, in baseball. Number 30 overall, Jet Williams, and they also gave up Brandon Sproat, who pitched a little bit for them down the stretch last year. So they're retooling. They're trying to go for it with the Dodgers. They're trying to go band for band, and I think they're doing good. Phillies rant. The Phillies have no motion at all. They have no motion at all. They have no direction with their franchise. They're running it back again for what seems like the 11th straight year. It's been 5 straight years of the same exact team, to be honest. They lost Ranger Suarez to the Red Sox. They were in on Bo Bichette. I thought for forever that they were going to sign him, but they didn't. Obviously, he went to the Mets at the last second. So when he comes to Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, it's on site.
It's on site.
They can't go band for band with the Dodgers or what?
They can, but it hasn't worked the last 3 years.
It's a different type
We've
of
seen
tax
it every time. They literally lost to the Dodgers in the playoffs.
They're just not credible at this point.
No, and they keep running it back. They didn't sign anybody. They re-signed Kyle Schwarber, obviously, but he's been on the team. That hasn't worked. They didn't sign any new players.
They don't want to see my Rockies, though.
All right, wrap it up.
All right. Speaking of wrap it up, we do have to wrap it up. I just want to say thank you guys for rocking out with us, appreciating us, letting us get a chance to get a season 2. Like I said, season 2 episodes. We'll be premiering new episodes every week. So I just want to say thank you guys, and we'll see you guys soon.
See
Peace
ya.
out.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Boop.
Hit that bell.
All right, buddy.